Hello, welcome again to my channel. My name is IJ and you're here on this channel, Tell IJ. Here we share stories, and so if you have a story, a personal experience that you would like to share with other viewers, please do write in. Either go to the description box and you will see a link and find out how you can reach me. And we promise we do not, and I will not, show your face or say your name unless you really want to. Stories are there just for all of us to learn and hopefully learning and unlearning. So on today's show, I want to talk about a trending issue, or rather a trending event that just happened yesterday in United States of America to do with one of the Braxton sisters. I don't know if some of you have ever watched the Braxton Family Values. That's what the show, it was about 7 seasons, I think. They started in 2011, I'm not sure. And the person I'm talking about was, because she just passed and it was her funeral yesterday. The topic I want to talk about is actually relating to families, but because of what happened, I probably may be able to show a little clip of who I'm talking about in this video as I go on. And her name was Traci Braxton. She was a younger sister to Toni Braxton. Do you remember Toni Braxton? Anybody that loved music in the 90s, I'm not a good singer, but her song that she was well known when, "Oh, break my heart, say that you love me." That kind of thing. I'm not a singer, so don't hold me accountable and don't write me saying my voice is not good because I said I'm not a good singer. Anyway, so her name was Traci. Traci was one of 4 sisters, if I'm not wrong. There was Toni, Tawanda, Tama, and then and their mom was known as Evelyn, and she had one brother called Michael Jr. Their dad was their dad is called Michael Sr. And the reason I just want to hint a little bit is that it kind of scrapes a topic that's been in my heart. That's part of the reason I am on YouTube, and I hope as time goes on I can reach out to more and more people in my little way to adjust and readjust the way we think and the way we value people we claim that we love. So let me just say very briefly, Traci, God bless her soul, may she rest in perfect peace. She was, her funeral was yesterday in America, like I said, and she was celebrated by a lot of artists, and she was a well-renowned, successful singer herself. And she died on the unfortunate, untimely age of 50 after, well, not being confirmed, but some speculated that she had cervical cancer. She was survived by her husband. I think they still had, and her son, and she was a grandmother as well. So she was a wife. And so what struck me, and is so painful, was the fact that, these are sisters that were, like a large family. They did things together. They were all on this wonderful reality show. In fact, some people in America refer to the Braxton Family Values show that ran for about 7 seasons. As I think they were like would I say not the Kardashians, or like someone mentioned like the Kardashian of the black family or whatever you like. But all I know is that it was quite a successful show, hence they ran it for 7 seasons. So when Traci died, it shocked a lot of people, including myself, and quite honestly, my heart goes out to the family. I've been listening to different people talk about it, and yes, we have to be diplomatic, but I'm almost edging to say, whatever the reason, I don't want to say disgusting behavior, but, to think that your own daughter or sister died, and none of the sisters attended the funeral. Even if they said it was private, how private could it be beyond having the people that you all came out from the same mother's womb. And apparently their mother didn't go to the funeral. The only person that was there was their father with his wife, because the parents divorced a long time ago. And then apparently, because she knew probably she wasn't going to live long, she had everything planned and put her son, Michael Jr., in charge of her funeral plans and everything. So everything that happened yesterday happened according to what his mother wanted. And people from all accounts, I've heard from different places, you know, he made his mom proud. But the reason I wanted to mention this is we all, and everybody watching this, we all came from families. And I'm still going to do quite a number of videos on various aspects of family dynamics, but I couldn't let this one go. And what I want to, because I've been in a situation, I am in a situation where I don't even know how to explain it. What is it with family members that, if I'm talking from my own experience, because I know everybody is different, often me, I don't like being a victim. I will not be anyone's victim. I'm a strong woman. But I say victim because you, in your heart, everything you're thinking or trying to do is with a clean heart. But somebody in a family decides they want to make you miserable. They want to, which will not happen anyway, by the way. But they want to, what would you say? Their aim in life becomes anywhere to lie against you, you know, to make anything negative, tarnish your name. And unfortunately, when people are told something, there are very few of us, and I like to think I'm one of them. You know, I don't like just jumping in. I've never been that person, to be honest, even when I was a teenager. If you say somebody did something, I know, unless somebody is so obviously so dangerous, don't be jumping onto the bandwagon because a sibling came to you and said another sibling said this and did that. And often, people don't ask questions. Often, they let it fester. Often, they begin to act and poison other people around you. And before you know it, months turn to years. Years turn to decades. And it goes on and on. But going back to Traci, you know, even if, because some people's hearts, even when they claim they have faith, only God will judge. That's what I'll say. Some people's hearts are so dark and hardened. Because I cannot believe, unless physically I could not make it, but even then, I will make an effort, let alone. If you don't want to answer, don't answer. It's between you and your God, whatever you believe. But what will make four sisters and their mom not attend? Even if it was, because you quarreled before the person was ill, or the husband or whatever, you have a right to be there. Even if you really love your daughter or sister or whatever, not all, just give him some press release or whatever, you will make an effort. Go there, let alone that they say to you, oh, you cannot come in here. And so it brings me to the question, and for those of you watching me, what is it with families that when something, often in my own book, often is something, I'm talking from experience, sometimes you is being directed to. Nobody has asked you or told you why they're angry with you, but they keep on really conniving, doing all these nasty things to you by action, or even if, because we're human, we're not perfect, even if your sibling has done something, why is it so difficult for some family members to just make up with their family members? But when it's a friend that has done you twice more outside, you're more keen and maybe more open to making up with a friend and forgiving and carrying on. When I say forgiveness, I use that word loosely. Because in another situation I've seen with some people, some of you may identify, it baffles me up to this day, but I've stopped being baffled. You just leave everything to God and live your life to the fullest and live the better side of you, the best life of your version of yourself. Somebody is probably the aggressor. They're the ones all the time talking nasty about you, plotting nasty about you. But yet, when the people say forgive it, forgive the person, forgive the victim, you cannot, especially in some African situations. I don't know if you're Asian or European or Caucasian, whatever. If you have had a similar experience, please write me in. I'd love to take this and discuss it further with my audience. Because I don't understand for the life of me. Often, you see someone who's the antagonistic one. You see someone who's the aggressor. But they're talking about, I've forgiven you. And in the meantime, you're the victim. I'm not even still aware. They haven't told you exactly what you've done. So that if you're wrong, trust me, someone like me, that's a grace God gave me. Saying I'm sorry is not a big deal. I do it with my children. It's something I've imbibed in my family. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm sorry. And I often say to people, one of the greatest things that break families apart, marriages, countries, especially relationships, is when you're dealing with narcissists or people who are so arrogant. They have so much ego for some reason in their thick brain. They think it's okay to keep doing something to someone, and the longer you keep quiet out of quote-unquote respect or keeping peace, they see it like a weakness. They don't understand the strength that you have inside you, that you're just trying to, but then there comes a time, nobody likes to be abused because some of it borders on abuse. Because let's be honest, if you have a husband or a wife and your spouse did some of those things, that will be immediately identified as abuse. If you did it to your own child who couldn't stand up to you, that will be termed as child abuse. But for some reason, especially in the African culture, I say African, don't come for me, I speak straight. I'm being honest, okay? I am proud African. Yes, I'm British, but I'm proud African blood in me. And I always say, it's not everything we do in African culture that is progressive or acceptable. Some people, when you see them, they will claim, it's our culture. Some people will use the age thing. There are cultures in Africa where age is a blessing. Age is a wonderful thing. Please do not misunderstand me. But I felt almost a relief when I heard the man calling to one show I was listening to. And he's African living in Canada. And he even confessed on that show that he used to be like that because that was the way he was raised in Nigeria. And because it worked for him being the first son, he would always command his junior ones, do this, do that. But then by the time he got to Canada and kind of began to see things differently, he even knew before Canada that it wasn't all right. Just because you're older than someone, you begin to, what we will call here, abuse them. Oh, God, do this to me. Oh, and then you insult someone, forgetting that primarily a human being like you. You're the one championing the word respect. But you find it difficult to respect your younger one or even respect their own family. But, do people ever sit down and look into themselves to realize that you cannot keep on asking of other people what you are not capable yourself of giving? Respect can never be forced, not one-sided. Otherwise, that is what is called abuse. And you can only keep on abusing somebody if you're the one feeding them, which is still not right, but, I'm just trying to say, for the sake of argument. And so, going back to Traci Braxton's situation, it just goes to show how there's no excuse. To me, to my mind, and the same people, I'm sure they probably, whenever Easter, whatever, they will go to church, they will call God. And that is the worst thing, making a mockery of God. Even if you're Jewish, you're Muslim, you're Christian, do not make fun of God when you know your heart is dark. What can your sister possibly do to you that even on the person's funeral, you couldn't even make it? What does that say for you? Because I know in some African situations, or some people's funny mentality, they think, oh, if they keep ignoring you, oh, they have an upper hand. No. In fact, the way I view those things, it makes me lose respect for the person, especially those who claim to be Christians, or those that should know better. Because if you don't have a communication with someone, and you claim a sibling, or even a friend has wronged you, how will the person know what they've done to you if you do not behave like a mature person and sit down and tell them? Then if you tell them, they say they don't care, you have a right to, but often those kind of people are not even ready to sit down. In fact, like someone once said, they're already bitter. They're looking for any and possible excuse. And often they are the people that have taken your names to the cleaners long before you decided to stand up for yourself. And standing up for yourself may not necessarily mean you said anything or done anything. They just like to believe anybody that comes to lie to them, they will jump on that and hold on to that and tell somebody, I'm angry, I will never speak to her. My dear, I pity such people, because the only person you have to answer to is God, not even the person you're direct, because I'm busy living the best version of my life. Because you cannot pretend, whatever and whoever you are. If you are carrying a grudge, it's unhealthy, it's unchristian-like, it's despicable, it is saddening, it is negative, and don't insult God for that, and pray one of my favorite prayers: forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. How could you expect God will be happy with you? How would you stand before God? Because none of us knows how long we will be on this earth. But as for whoever is a victim that is even reaching out with olive branch, at least you can stand before God and say, Lord, I tried. Because you can't force anyone to communicate if they don't want to. Because truly is that if somebody loves you, whether it's a friend or a sibling, when you upset them or they've done something, because often we do things sometimes knowingly, unknowingly. That's why we're human beings, and often the same people behave as if they are perfect. They've never done, just because they have yes man people around them. They've never offended anybody who tolerated them. And it's funny. And if you are watching this and you're one of those people, we all have families and you have a family feud, please swallow your pride. Nobody really needs anybody, but if you feel comfortable and feel the day God calls you that you can stand before him and say, yes, I was quite okay keeping malice with my brother, my sister, good for you. But as for me, even when I don't agree with people, I rather make peace. If you don't want peace, that's between you and God. For me and my God, I'm good. I'm good. And if you are still in a feud with your family or friends, please, I beg you, wherever you are in the world, swallow your pride. Life is too short. If you can, take a step back and ask yourself, what is it that really made me this angry? Because like I said, often it's so petty. I don't even think the people that are acting on anger sit back to realize that they have no proper point. And if you feel you have a proper point, sit down with your family or your friends or your parents or whoever. Trash it out. Because life is too short. And that's a trick I always used to say to people. Think about the good times or what good that person has done for you. Unless you're one of those people, you already have jealousy or bitterness in your heart, which of course I'll still say pray. Pray and ask God to please remove that kind of negative attitude from you. Because in the end, with all these family feuds, the people that suffer are the next generations. We are all comfortable, but in the end, it's you and that person you're denying your children, the cousins, and the rest of it. I don't mean that being close to family, because I understand it's complex, and sometimes some families or people take advantage. Being in good terms, if you're always butting heads, you can still make peace, but learn to keep the distance. Stop making too much demands of the other person. If what they will do will never be to your satisfaction, that will prompt you to start being angry. Because some people, it's like a vicious cycle. You think you're making up with them this moment. Next moment, you do something they ask you. Next moment, you get the silent treatment and keep wondering, what have I done now? Nobody can go through life second guessing every step they make. It's tiresome. We don't have that time. Especially when you get to a certain age, when you have your family, you have your work or your job or business. Nobody has that kind of time. Unfortunately, some people in their heads always think they're more important than they really are. As I said, no one is an island, but at the same time, human beings, you'll be surprised, we're adaptable, especially when we know that our conscience is clear. When you know that you have done everything within your power to extend good gesture. Reconciliation. If someone doesn't want to reconcile, first of all, you have to know what you've done to be able to deal with it. But some people, they still don't want to discuss it. And, I remember in my own case, when one of my own close relatives said, "Oh, I'm not angry with you." The next sentence, "But you did this to me." And you stand there thinking, what the person was claiming I did, if it's not bitterness ingrained in them, don't talk about the consequences of somebody reacting to your own. You are the instigator. You can't expect people to just be a punching bag. You're cheating them, you're lying, you're conniving at them. Then when they react, you say that, "Oh, you did this to me." They didn't talk about what they did to you, that the action that produced the consequences. And I always have a favorite saying, let us be conscious of our actions, because we cannot control the consequences. Because consequences, when things start getting out of hand, especially if you're one of those people who feels too big to admit to your wrong, don't blame the other person, because we all have a right. And in my case, I don't want to believe, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any enemies. But if somebody wants to make you an enemy, you can't control that. All you can do is to keep praying for them, because clearly it's a very healthy state of mind to be in. So it's very sad. And like I said, if you're watching this, please, 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 learn how to say, "I'm sorry." You'll be amazed. "I am sorry." In fact, it's such a powerful. People don't understand. Sometimes, that person, a family feud that's gone on for decades, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, it's just because one person, especially the person that knows deep down that they have lied, they have manipulated, they have been the one, but for some reason in their head, they still want the person they've lied against and wronged to keep on groveling. It's okay to swallow your pride and say, "I am sorry." "I am sorry" has healed so many wounds. Even in marriages, half of what causes marriage problems is when one partner cannot just say, "Stop deflecting, stop arguing." Just if you know you're wrong. There's no pride in it. In fact, to me, it's a mark of a man or woman's strength. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it that way. Because sometimes, like I said, we do things we don't really mean to. After all, who can claim they love someone and yet you're hurting them? Because I've heard it in my own life where some people, they don't call you deliberately for decades or years. Then the day you reach out again for the sake of our Lord Jesus, you pick up and say hello. "Hey, we love you." And you just want to say, huh? You love someone, but you never could get your ego to pick up the phone and ask your sister or your brother, "How are you? I'm just calling to see how you are." But the day that person goes, you'll be the first person to be pretending to cry, and say you're a Christian or you're Jewish or you're Muslim, that is wrong. You can lie to yourself. The one good thing in this life is that no one can lie to God. God sees everything we do in secret. You can please and lie to people around you because it suits you. But on your last day, because none of us will stand there with our husband, our wives, our children, our colleagues, it's you who will stand before your God and give an account of how you were to your own sibling. And as for the Braxton family, my heart goes out to them. And I hope with their actions, whatever their reasons are, that they will find peace. But as for me, it doesn't sit well. And some people, in their own silly way, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. Bitter people are bitter people. They think it makes them strong. I won't talk to this person. No, in fact, for me, it makes me lose respect for whoever that is. Especially those that you thought you loved each other. Because love does not never say you can make mistake and upset someone. But your sibling upsetting you does not warrant carrying a grudge for years. It's disgusting. It's wrong. It's unchristian-like. It's unequitable. It is in all things negative, and all things I like to think by the grace of God I've imbibed in my children. In my family, I sing it like the song, communication, communication. If you cannot communicate, that's a problem. And you have no right to hold a grudge on somebody you have never sat down to say, I didn't like this, this is what you did to me. Some people, they like keeping grudges, but they will never sit down with you and say, this was what upset me. So you can learn. You find yourself tiptoeing around them. Time after time, no matter what you do, there's always a fault. No, it's tiring. You don't want such people in your life. It doesn't mean you're keeping malice. You can still be happy. You need to keep them at a far, far, far distance. So on this note, I just wanted to touch on the passing of Traci Braxton, who died at the age of 50. And she was survived by her husband, son, grandchild, and the whole family. Her mother, Evelyn, did not attend. Her sisters, allegedly, according to some channels, but I really hope it's not true. But I know for sure, from what we've seen, they said it was a private. I don't know how private anything can be, and not have your siblings there. On this note, thank you again, and please, if you do have a family story to tell, or an experience of how someone in the family has wronged you, or you're at a crossroads of how to resolve an issue, please by all means reach out to me, and I'd love to hear your story. And if you're looking for a way of reconciling with someone in the family, again, reach out to me, and I'll be able to put you right. And on this note, thank you very much again for stopping by. And please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video, please, with your friends and family. And on this note, I say thank you, and you have a wonderful day, evening, wherever in the world you are. And please leave me your comment or your thoughts in the comment box. Anyway, thank you. Bye.